The year is 2012, and the Dodgers have just been eliminated from postseason contention for the third year in a row. Little did we all know, the Los Angeles Dodgers missing out on postseason baseball would soon become foreign, as a dynasty began. In 2013, they'd go on to win 92 games in the division, led by Adrian Gonzalez, Hanley Ramirez, and Yasiel Puig on offense, Clayton Kershaw, Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Zach Greinke in the starting rotation, and lockdown closer Kenley Jansen out of the bullpen. After taking down the Atlanta Braves in 4 games, the Dodgers would have their season end by the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals, with National League Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw being lit up in Game 6. On to the next year. 2014 was Clayton Kershaw's world, and we were all just living in it. The offense was solid again, with Adrian Gonzalez, Hanley Ramirez, and Yasiel Puig leading the way. Zach Greinke was nasty. Josh Beckett and Hyun-Jin Ryu were great. The rotation as a whole was nasty. The bullpen got the job done, but Kershaw was the story of the team. In 2014, Clayton Kershaw pitched to a 1.77 ERA and 198 and a third innings. I typically don't look at wins as a reliable stat to see how valuable a player is, but he won 21 games, and that's not luck. He became an All-Star, won the National League Cy Young Award again, but this time took it a step further, winning the National League MVP Award, only to blow a 6-1 lead in Game 1 of the NLDS, giving up 8 earned runs to the Cardinals on 8 hits, 2 of which were homers, proceeding to give up the go-ahead 3-run bomb in Game 4 in St. Louis, as the Dodgers had their season ended by the hands of the Cardinals yet again. 2015 was Zach Greinke's world that we were all just living in. The offense was solid, so was the bullpen led by Kenley Jansen and J.P. Howell, and as far as the rotation, it was incredible yet again with the 1-2 punch of Kershaw and Greinke. Clayton Kershaw was stupid again, throwing over 230 innings with a 2.13 ERA, striking out 301 hitters, while Greinke threw over 220 innings with a 1.66 ERA, striking out 200 hitters, somehow not even winning the NL Cy Young Award. But you get the point, he was great, and a big part of why the Dodgers won the NL West again, going on to face the Mets in the division series where they lose in 5 games, with Greinke of all people getting the loss in the 5th game at Dodger Stadium. 2016 was kind of the beginning of a new era, with the Dodgers firing Don Mattingly and hiring Dave Roberts to be their new manager, and the team won the division again. The offense was really good, Kershaw was Kershaw, Kenley was locked down at the back end of the bullpen, and the Dodgers went on to take down the 95-win Washington Nationals in the NLDS, but losing 6 games to the eventual World Series winning Chicago Cubs. Now, the way I look at this Dodgers dynasty over the last decade is split into 2 parts. 2013 through 2016, and then 2017 through now. 2013 through 2016, the first half of the dynasty, featured some good Dodgers teams. But since 2017, the Dodgers haven't just been good. They have been great, fantastic, incredible, however you want to put it, and have thrown out some of the best teams in baseball history. 2017 was more of a start to a new era, with legendary play-by-play announcer Vin Scully retiring after 2016. They had a permanent new voice for most of the 162 games off the year began, and boy, was it a fun one in LA. The Dodgers won 104 games in 2017, the offense was amazing, the rotation, led by Kershaw, was solid, Kenley Jansen was Kenley Jansen, and the Dodgers seemingly cruised all the way to the World Series, sweeping the wildcard winning D-backs and taking down the Cubs in 5 games in the process. Looking back, I remember being so sure that the Dodgers were going to win the 2017 World Series. It had to be their year, and I especially felt that way at the back end of Game 2. They won Game 1 by a score of 3-1, with Kershaw getting his first World Series win in his first ever World Series start, with the Dodgers taking a 3-1 lead into the 8th inning of Game 2. A Carlos Correa RBI single would make it a 1-run game, but by the 9th, it had to be over. Kenley Jansen, who had pitched to a 1.32 ERA in 2017, took the mound only to give up a leadoff opposite field home run to Marwin Gonzalez, making it a 3-3 ballgame. Lots of home runs were hit in extra innings, with the Astros hanging on to win 7-6 for the final, knotting up the series at 1 game apiece. They lose Game 3, but win Game 4, and that's when I felt good again about their chances to win the series. Game 5 ended up being one of the greatest World Series games in history, with the Astros walking it off in the 10th inning to win 13-12, and Justin Verlander rounding the corner in Game 6 with a chance to clinch for his Astros. The Dodgers refused to quit, beating Verlander and winning 3-1, forcing a Game 7 to be played. My prediction was that the Dodgers would either blow the Astros out of the water, or it would be a close and dramatic game that the Dodgers win. Well, neither happened. In shocking fashion, the Dodgers just kind of died. They got themselves into an early 5-0 hole, mustered just 1 run after that, losing the game, the series, and being forced to watch the Astros celebrate on their home turf. We of course now know a big reason as to why the Astros won that series. We're not going to get too into that, but it was just an unfortunate ending to a magical season for the Dodgers. Despite the heartbreak and not winning as many games the next year, there was no World Series hangover, as the Dodgers still won the NL West, beating the Braves in 4 games, the Brewers in 7 games, and going back to the Fall Classic, only to run into the greatest Red Sox team of all time, losing in 5 games and having to watch the opposition celebrate a championship on their home turf for the second year in a row. That is tough, but they didn't skip a beat in 2019. In 2019, the Dodgers won 106 games, had a great rotation, a decent bullpen, and an incredible offense led by National League MVP Cody Bellinger. This team is arguably even better than the 2017 one. This had to be the year. It just had to be, right? It felt like it until the Dodgers took a 2-1 series lead against the Nationals in the NLDS, only to blow a lead in Game 4 and a late game lead in Game 5, losing the series and being forced to watch yet another visiting team celebrate at Dodger Stadium. 2020 came around, they traded for Mookie Betts, the pandemic followed, the Dodgers were the best team in baseball and finally did it. For the first time since 1988, they got it done, winning the World Series. Kershaw got his ring, the dynasty was at least fulfilled for now, and that was that. Well, not really, but we'll get back to that. 2021 was the first time the Dodgers failed to win the NL West despite winning 106 games, only because the San Francisco Giants decided to just wake up and win 107. It didn't end up mattering, considering the Dodgers beat the Giants in 5 games in the first round, going on to face off against the 88-win Atlanta Braves. The Dodgers won 18 more games than the Braves in 2021, so naturally, they would lose the series in 6, with Atlanta going on to win it all. As for 2022, the Dodgers have been incredible. They stole Freddie Freeman from the Braves, and he's been amazing. Mookie Betts has been Mookie Betts. Trey Turner is one of the best shortstops in baseball. Will Smith is one of the best catchers in baseball. You have a guy like Trace Thompson coming out of nowhere, hitting like a stud. The rotation is immaculate. The bullpen is solid. I mean, everything is just going well for them. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Now, don't get me wrong. To be a consistent winner year in, year out is the goal for any team. You're not going to win the World Series every year. In fact, you won't win the vast majority of the years. But as long as you keep winning, you got a shot. But it's hard to look at what the Dodgers are doing this year and deem it a successful season. Not yet. The Dodgers won the World Series in 2020. There's no getting around that. I'm not here to discredit the players, coaches, front office members, and everyone who put that championship together. But there's a huge, colorful elephant in the room. They may have won it all in 2020, but is it as legit as any other championship that has come before and after? No. The simple answer is no. The players couldn't do anything about it. The coaches couldn't do anything about it. The front office couldn't do anything about it. Nobody who was a part of that team could control the pandemic happening and forcing a 60-game fanless season upon us. They did what they were supposed to do, just in a crappy situation. It's unfortunate. If I was a Dodgers fan, I would trade the 2020 championship for 2017 any day, especially knowing the Astros win was tainted. 2020 was cool, but it has to have an asterisk next to it for the simple fact that it happened under the circumstances that it did. So, what now? Win the World Series or it's meaningless. You can only have so many amazing regular seasons like the Dodgers have without them eventually becoming irrelevant because they didn't result in any championships. I applaud the Dodgers. I adore the Dodgers. I marvel the Dodgers for what they have been able to build over the last decade, building a consistent winner every single year, while also being built for the future by having one of the top farm systems in the league, drafting well, developing well, finding talent in players that nobody else can see. It's incredible. It's every fan's dream. Dodger fans are spoiled. Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers front office has done such a fantastic job. But at the end of the day, unless you win that last game of the season in October or November, it won't really matter. So as good as the Dodgers have been in 2022, they're not even close to their goal. And trust me, I don't have to say this. The players know it, the coaches know it, the front office knows it, and the fans know it. It's World Series or bust at this point. About 5 years ago, it wasn't. But now, it is, because it has to be.